quick big picture on the Trump trial update. Now we have the sentencing on July 11th. What we need to remember is that he was found guilty of 34 counts. He was also found guilty of criminal contempt of court 11 times, and there's about 8 or 9 other instances they didn't even bother charging him because it didn't make any difference right at the end. So that's all taken into account. All of his attacks on the judge's family, the prosecutor, everything he and everyone in his circle, like his sons and stuff like that, that obviously came from him, all of those attacks are being taken into account. In addition, there was new information that was found to be 9 different witnesses in this case and other cases that were paid off not to testify. They were given chairman positions, $9 million in bonuses to these people, positions on the board of trustees with big salaries and vacations and everything else. They were set up and they didn't testify. That's witness tampering. That's, all sorts of different crimes down the book. That's in addition to what he was found guilty of. That could be a whole nother set of charges. Plus, you have what he's continuing to do. Talking at his rallies about how it was a rigged trial and everything else. Judge Merchan hasn't made the decision yet on sentencing. He committed 11 counts of criminal contempt of court. No one in this country would have stayed out of jail breaking that law 11 times with any judge. No one. He did. So Judge Merchan has been very, very gentle with him, and also because of the political atmosphere. But this is a jury of his peers that actually looked through all the evidence and saw all the stuff. The 9 different specific people with evidence that were paid off in different ways not to testify in this trial. That could concern the judge, and that could have led to a hell of a lot more charges, and it probably will in the future anyway. But it's definitely going to be taken into account. He's looking at this, freaking out, because he really doesn't have much control over it. Not even his, cronies in Congress has much control over it. So they're trying to do things like they put up a bill to allow the president to take all the state cases and just lift them up and put them on the federal dockets. So erase the state's power to run their own justice system. They already wrote a bill and put it up to do that. That's the Republican response to the state's cases that the federal government really can't intervene all that much in and can't pardon and things like that. So they're trying to take that away. They're trying to take that off the table. Now, besides looking at that for what it is, that's not good for the justice system. That kind of defeats the whole purpose. They're already doing that. So as a voter, you need to look at that in the big picture of things without the political lens. Do we want that to happen? Do we want every single case to be contingent on whether or not it's politically approved before it goes forward? That's not going to do well for our country. That's, again, not a political statement. But when it's coupled with we are going to take out anyone who ever ruled or spoke against one person or everyone in their party that are in his good graces, because we know that doesn't always stay the same. He's going to replace those lifelong judges and prosecutors who actually are experts in their field and who aren't biased, but because there was a ruling someone didn't like, they can not only lose their jobs, but Trump has actually threatened to have them become unalived or thrown in jail. Don't need a trial because he says so. And mobilize the military anywhere at any time for any reason with anything he says to do. He said this out loud a number of occasions. This is what's at stake. So when we're looking at these cases and seeing how many of them are directly meddled with and obstructed, and then we're looking at a pending sentencing less than a month away, and people still convince themselves that it was nothing to it. That's the danger here, ladies and gentlemen. That is the outright danger here. Judge Merchan has all the reasons in the world to give him maximum across-the-board sentences. He will not do that. I know he will not do that. I can see maybe 4 years, which is what Michael Cohen was sentenced to. 2 years with good behavior. The fact of the matter is Trump won't last a month or two behind bars. Probably 1 or 2 cycles to a stainless steel toilet in the wall. It will be enough for him for his years of health, fitness, and the love of cocaine and Adderall to take him out a couple cheeseburgers deep. It's not about the sentence. It's not about the jail time. He needs to see the inside of the cell because it's right. That's what would happen to everyone else. So, yeah, he at least needs that. I would say exactly what Michael Cohen got. Or sentence him to how long Michael Cohen stayed in jail. Give the other 2 years a commuted sentence or time served. There's creative ways to do it to make the point. But it needs to happen. And we need to be ready to defend it. Because too many ignorant people are pissed off without knowing anything about the facts of what's going on. And they're fine with that. It's willful ignorance. They're fine with that. But we need to keep our eyes on protecting this country and actually putting America first. It's hard to put America first when you won't even defend America enough to look into some pretty harsh allegations just to see if they're true. That's putting America first. Stay diligent, stay educated, be kind. Because the bottom line of all of it, we are all in this together. And we have to be united. Because right now, we can't defend this already great country, though screwed up. We can't defend this country if we're not even united within our borders. We are vulnerable to everybody worldwide that's always wanted to harm us. Right now, we are at our most vulnerable. And we're looking at each other instead of looking out at Russia with nuclear capability on our borders, with threats coming from China, from North Korea, all teaming up with Russia against half of this country. It's not about politics, ladies and gentlemen. It's about actually defending our country. So let's work on that.